This might be one of the craziest Jubilee reactions ever. This is a crazy episode.
They keep amping it up, but they have to, you know?
Is being fat a choice? We just posted this one recently, but this is the second time they're doing it. Fit Man vs. Fat Man. Well, Myron from Fresh and Fit is on this episode.
You know, I thought they would have not picked him just because of how controversial he is, and Myron doesn't hold back. So the fact that he's on this makes this episode 10 times better.
How come they didn't have them shirtless?
Our first prompt is, I have felt disgusted looking at a fat body. Can our agreeers please step forward?
They walked up, no hesitation.
Well, it's unacceptable to be fat.
Okay, that's a great start. I mean, I know why you say that, but it's one of those things where, do you know why you're saying that?
Yes, because I've been fat before and I lost the weight.
Well, me too. I've been fat my whole life. I've been way skinnier than I am now, and I've been way heavier than I am now. Was I less valuable at one point in there?
Well, I mean, you can make an argument that you're less valuable when you're fatter because you drain resources, but that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I mean, in general, being fat is unacceptable because you control every single morsel of food that goes into your mouth.
Okay.
It shows a lack of discipline. It shows a lack of character.
Myron's been waiting for this moment, honestly.
Like, he's doing his platform, but now he gets to do it on their platform.
He said, I got something to say.
I've definitely felt disgusted looking at my own body and looking at other fat bodies in my life. A lot of the disgust I felt looking at people was me feeling disgusted with myself and then projecting that feeling onto other people. And I don't think anyone on either side will disagree that health is important.
I don't think there's anyone that can look at somebody 500, 600, 700 pounds and not think, wow, what have they done? And not be disgusted. Like, how can you not? I just can't understand.
You can't
nobody
assume that everyone has the same opinion, though, because unfortunately, some people have emotional stuff that happened, traumatic stuff that's happened, so you can't discount and just say, because they're fat.
Boo-hoo, man. Like, there's way worse stuff going out in the world versus people saying, oh my God, I'm sad, I'm gonna eat some ice cream. It's like, no, dude, it's like, you're fat, you made that decision. You live in the best country ever. If you live in a civilized, first world country where you have electricity, internet power, etc., you deserve to be bullied. It's ridiculous to me that we have all these fat people running around. Meanwhile, people are being bombed in Gaza. It's ridiculous. We are so privileged here in the United States and in the West in general. When I see a fat person, I'm like, wow, you got the gift of life. You got the gift of being in a developed country, and you're a fat POS talking about body positivity on TikTok. What the hell is going on?
But now you're
here?
segmenting, though, because not everyone thinks like that.
No, we need to bring shaming back.
He has so much he wants to get off his chest.
We need to do it with sluts. We need to do shame
people. We need to shame everybody.
We went off topic. Sluts. I'm all right, it's sluts.
You had a personal experience you wanted to share. You said you used to be overweight. Now you're not.
Oh yeah, so I did an experiment back in like 2015 where I like bulked for like almost 2 years, and I got up to like 250 pounds, and then I dieted down. It took me about 7 months. I systematically did it, controlled my calories, tracked my macros, tracked my protein, carbs, fats, and systematically lost 1 to 2 pounds per week.
So you chose to gain up to 250.
Yeah,
you were
so
naturally
I've been in all
beforehand.
spectrums. Like, I'm naturally skinny.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get fat as an experiment.
Yeah.
Did it, and then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna lose the weight. And then all I did was just track my calories, like the same food every single day.
Yeah.
Went to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and everything was controlled and it got done. Was it monotonous? Of course. Was it boring?
I agree with you there. I am naturally this way. This is with working out 4 or 5 times a week.
That's not true.
It's 100% true, bro.
Nah, bro.
No,
Come to the gym with me.
It's not natural at all, because at the end of the day, if you don't lose weight, by definition, you're not in a calorie deficit.
People burn at their resting metabolic rate a different set of calories.
Doesn't matter.
There's a lot to unpack here already.
Yes, they are. Wow.
But like he was just saying right there, I go to the gym 5 days a week, and then Myron's like, yeah, bullshit, or whatever. That guy really wanted to drop pounds. He very well could. That's not what he's trying to do. You could go to the gym every day and not lose weight.
Let's bring in the disagreeers and hear from them.
Okay, so the reason I disagreed, especially when I heard the statement, I don't think I'll ever look at somebody based on...
What is he on?
If I see somebody that's a drug addict on the street that's homeless, I'm not disgusted by that. If I see somebody that's incredibly overweight, I'm not disgusted by that. Do I think that there's an opportunity for growth? Do I think they've been put in a disadvantageous position that's probably makes it harder for them Absolutely. I think I'm kind of an empath. So when I see somebody, I know that there's things underlying. And one of my best friends is 400 plus pounds. I've helped him lose 150, 200 pounds. He's gained it back.
Oh, shit.
I think there's plenty of people that look at me and say, that's disgusting. I never want to look like that. So like, I know what it feels like on the other side to like look the way I do and get people look at me like, ugh, that's gross. To like have that muscle. And to go back to that point, like you came from a fit place and like deciding to bulk, like that's a conscientious decision to gain weight. Like you already have those habit routines and skills in order to stay in shape. And then you use those same skills you had to pull back on the calories and knowledge you had.
The reason why I use that example is that you can get fat and lose the weight if you know what you're doing and you have the knowledge and everything else like that. It's just about consistency over time. So it's like, I look at it like...
Let me cut you off, because here's one thing that you just said.
Yeah.
You had the tools. So there's people that don't have the tools that you've passed judgment on, and you have failed to realize that with the tools, people are very much capable of achieving amazing things. But
okay, let's talk about said
no,
tools.
hold on, I'm not done.
Why you cut me off?
I'm
before,
not done.
remember?
And I stood over there.
Oh man, Myron's too quick.
You are passing judgment on people who lack the tools to do what it is that they need to do to get themselves to a certain point of health. There are multitudes of factors that weighs into what goes on with somebody's body. There are people that even if they work out, losing the weight does not come as simple as just going to the gym, cutting calories, watching everything that you eat. There are some people that have a disposition. I have a disposition.
They're moving away from the prompt. The prompt is I have felt disgusted looking at a fat body.
Yeah, we are getting...
They're getting into the weeds at this point. First off, he's saying you're passing judgment on people because of X, Y, Z. Well, you're passing judgment on him for what he said. But he just made a statement that even if you watch your food and cut your calories and
go to the gym,
somehow you won't lose weight. Well,
Myron could talk because he did it. He got fat and did it. So he can say, I did this every single day, went to the gym 4 times a week, didn't miss it for however long. They probably have never done that or even tried. So it's like, how can you even say anything?
Yeah, it's because the truth hurts and sucks.
Yeah, and he already felt some type of way. That's why they kind of steered off the topic, because they already have animosity. Like, he wants to already say something to this guy. Let me just cut him off because I'm already mad. I gotta stick.
That's why when you see like children that are fat, it's not that the child chose to eat that much. It's just the parents didn't help regulate that. So you don't come into this world just trying to get big.
And some people have faster metabolism. Some people are able to hold on to weight easier, and some people have a harder time gaining weight. Then you know that, and then you act accordingly. I have this condition. Okay, well, with that in mind, do this.
But you're passing judgment on somebody's body that you know nothing about. Now, on the flip side, what if I turned around and I did the same thing to you? You're talking about how fit and stuff that you are, but you're over there and you're small as compared to these other guys.
You're judging people's bodies and this and that, and then immediately, and you're small as compared to him.
You're supposed to be fit.
There goes your whole argument.
They all have muscles, but it doesn't mean just because you don't have it as big as that guy, it means you're not still fit.
Yeah, why can't you acknowledge that being fat is just not a good thing? Like, as being a fat person, you can be like, okay, it sucks that it led to this point, but yeah, I don't want to be here. It's not good. Why do you think Ozempic is so popular right now? Nobody wants to be fat.
Yeah. I can't say, hey, no slapping people, and then I slap you in the face. He's saying don't judge on bodies, and then immediately went and judge him.
Yeah, he's mad right now.
You just cooked your whole argument, sir. Right. And unfortunately, this topic is so funny and interesting to talk about because reality doesn't care about your feelings. They're trying to have a feelings argument and a semantics argument about being disgusted about something. I can be disgusted looking at a morbidly obese person, at a homeless person, but that doesn't mean that I can also feel bad for them. You can have multiple feelings.
You can be disgusted and want to help them.
Yes. Just that word makes people, well, you can't say a mean word.
Things you don't want to say out loud, right? But you can say it in your head confidently, like, I don't know.
Because if I got big, 300 pounds, I'd be disgusted with myself. And I'd be able to recognize that. Like, it is disgusting. Like,
and then people
every
would look
time
at that.
you look yourself in the mirror, you wouldn't have one doubt in your head, like, maybe I should change.
No, because you said shame, right?
That's a little...
You said shame, right?
Yeah.
So how does that feel if someone comes up and they start shaming you for size? Like, come on.
Like you just did.
We're just in the first prompt. We got to be careful about targeting each other too directly. You
No, I
definitely.
mean, I'm not offended. It's fine. He's emotional.
no, it goes
and that's
in
fine.
every direction.
He's obviously very triggered.
Oh,
but
I'm
yeah,
not
so let's talk
triggered.
about, let's hit the tools. What are the tools? The tools are simply knowledge, which you can get for free on the internet. If you have the ability and the discipline to go out there and get the knowledge, then you're going to lose weight. It's just that simple. It's just that people want to always make excuses for why, oh, my feelings, oh, I don't know what, you don't know what people are going through, blah, blah, blah. No. You can watch your calories, you can go to the gym, you have time to do it. People just like to make excuses.
I don't think anyone's debating that weight loss is impossible here.
Well, the black guy kind of just did.
I'm not going to go ahead and give the same level of respect to someone who's a fat ass to someone that has worked really hard and diligently on their physique, because your body's outward manifestations,
There's more
other decisions,
factors to a
your
human
consistency.
being than their body.
Well, you could judge a lot just off of someone's physique. You'd be like, okay, well, this guy is lazy, and that's personified through their physique. It's the truth.
And I would never look at someone and show disgust towards them. I mean, I think I would respect, like you said.
That statement, I would never look at someone and feel or show disgust. Well,
So then you're not human though. Everyone does that. You may not say it out loud. Yeah, I'm not gonna say, hey, you're disgusting. Like, oh, he's disgusting.
Even if it's
But in
not
my
a
head,
body, I'm looking at this, judging this, looking at the lint on my hair, looking at the thing on my pocket. Like, you're judging things at all times.
As you should though.
Yes.
You should be able to judge, like, okay, this is a bad area, I'm not gonna go over there. Like, you need to be able to judge things.
you have looked at something before and thought it was disgusting, sir. But on Jubilee with the lights on, I would never think that anything's disgusting ever, because I am a virtuous, perfect human being who is incapable of negative things.
Respect is earned.
I mean, it is earned, but I mean, I think at a humane level, we can learn to appreciate each other's differences.
Yeah, I don't know if like disgust would be the right word, right?
I know.
Greg mentioned some health implications with being overweight or obese.
Yeah.
I think being concerned might be a better.
That's the word I was going to
a
go
better
for.
word.
Like,
but
I can show concern for someone for the way that they are, but I would never look at someone and say, like, you're disgusting.
Well, you wouldn't say that to them, but you're gonna have
It's just, have you felt
The prompt is felt.
It didn't say, would you say somebody's disgusting looking at, no, do you feel disgusted by seeing that?
But is it any different than if you see somebody who's extremely anorexic, they're 50 pounds, you look at them and you're in shock? Oh my God, like something happens in your body you can't control. You can't stop that. Like how can you not? It's not, I don't hate them.
That's different
It's just,
from-
wow, oh my God, it's like, it's disgusting. Like, holy goodness
But
gracious.
why
That's a
would
shock
you
factor,
use
though.
the word
That's not
disgusting,
That's not
right?
disgusting.
Because it's a word that describes things. That's disgusting.
I think they think disgusted means hatred at this point. I think they really think.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
It has very specific connotations behind it, and when it's used, it's somewhat weaponized as well.
Oh my God.
Yo.
I remember I was at FedEx. There was a man, he was morbidly obese. He was like doing the shipping for me. He couldn't breathe. And he was like breathing all heavy and shit and had a bunch of rashes on his skin and stuff. I was disgusted. Did I tell him this and that? No, I just let him do his thing. Humans naturally have these visceral reactions when they see things. We've evolved from an evolutionary standpoint. When we see something out of the ordinary or strange or gross, yeah, we're
Your body
naturally
sends a signal and you feel that signal of like, this is signaling that this isn't feel
you're
right.
repulsed by it naturally. You can't help it.
Jacked men are more attractive than fat men.
What are these questions?
Yeah, no, come on.
Come on, bro.
Like,
How come there's 4 guys over there? All right, so we're living in a bizarre world where people don't see the truth. Like, how is it possible that they're thinking, no, being obese and unhealthy is more attractive than being fit and healthy?
there we go, Greg.
This is possible.
Actually, you know what? This is precisely why a majority of women find a majority of men as unattractive. Because a lot of guys think this way, oh, I just be a nice guy and girls are gonna like me. No, they're not. She's not gonna suck your dick with the same veracity when you're a fat as when you're in shape.
You just have that women's arousal.
Not veracity.
Women are attracted to, a guy that's confident, ambitious, makes money, etc. Of course, right? But they're aroused by guys that have asshole tendencies, dark triad traits, etc., and guys that are physically in shape. So if you want to get the best of your woman, where she respects and admires you, while simultaneously being aroused by you, so she doesn't cheat on you, you need to have it all.
Crazy.
There might be 1% of the world that there's something wrong with them that might think that, yeah, you're 600 pounds, it's so hot, I love that, but...
The hot girls that you actually want, they exercise their hypergamy to the highest degree, and they want guys that are fit and have their money together, have their life together.
Even the moderator is an op because he's like,
is that true for everybody?
obviously not. I can't speak for every single human.
Is that 100% true?
Nothing's 100%. Like,
There's not 100% that agree on anything in this day and age ever in the world.
there are people out there that think obese is more sexually arousing to them than muscles and a good fat percentage on the body, but it's because a majority of people.
But if everybody in the world could take a vote, this or jacked or fat?
Look at, I don't know if you guys are in high school or college or whatever. The most popular guy in your high school, was he obese? The one who got all the girls, was he obese? The answer is no. He was an athlete. Who are the most popular guys in college? Athletes.
Think about this. How many obese superstars are there? The most likable people on this planet.
Not as many as...
Not as many as not. So it's like obvious.
Also, the overweight people that are celebrities aren't popular because of their appearance. They're popular because of their singing or their acting.
Why do we even like sports in general? These people are fit. Now, they're not jacked. These are fit men, women that are doing things that we can't do at a level that we'll never be able to do.
Common trope of a fat person is like, oh, it's a funny one or someone you look down on.
Goofy
Jonah
comedian.
Hill.
Yeah, Jonah Hill didn't blow up with Superbad because he was so handsome. It was because he was funny.
This is a weird question to even argue with. And it sucks that the fat men, they're probably just going to go back to the 1% of, you're not everybody.
Well, not everyone is like that.
And we're like, damn, we're trying to speak about what would most people think.
But think about how hard it is when you're a fat person, though. Even in your head, you know it's wrong. It's like, well, I am this. So it's like, I almost have to just participate in where I belong.
It almost hurts more to go disagree with yourself.
Yeah, it's like, why am I going to disagree with myself when I'm just going to sit here on camera with the light?
That's why, like, we had to do ranking attractiveness. You put me with supermodels. It's kind of like, why are we doing this? Well, I don't want to participate.
I've got to hear what these people say.
This is going to be good right here.
If you take the same guy, same height, etc., but one guy is fat, one guy's in good shape, she's always going to go with the guy that's in better shape.
Who would disagree with that?
Yeah, it's like actually. He broke it down to elementary terms.
I disagreed mostly just with the blanket statement because attraction is so subjective.
It is, but it isn't though. Wow, it's a highly debated thing where attraction is subjective. Yes, but to a certain point.
I feel like it's only been subjective like recently.
If you take a supermodel, I don't know what woman we want to use, but let's even go like a male, so Ryan Gosling. He's attractive to a lot of women. You could even say maybe a majority. But yeah, there's plenty of women who he's not the exact type or whatever. There's reasons why people are attracted to supermodels, whatever. Facial symmetry, body composition.
Like, has there ever been an obese hottest man of the world?
Nope.
Of the year or whatever? Hottest man of the year? Don't they have that every year?
Yeah, why don't we have a fat men's physique calendar?
I never bought a box of Calvin Klein underwear with a fat guy on it.
And you don't want to look like that guy either.
I don't.
Because you know how that looks.
I model clothing brands. I've modeled with major fashion houses. I've been on the covers of magazines. You mentioned before dad bod comments and whatnot and on social media. I was flabbergasted when I started how many people were commenting and DMing.
They're not getting a Nikocado avocado obese guy. You're actually like a good guy to model shit. Like if you're not a gym guy like that, then probably this would be more ideal. Like
he said he works out 4 or 5 times a week.
This guy's face, beard, grooming, and everything. And his height.
I can see a lot of women that would still find you very attractive.
Put Nikocado avocado next to him, and then let's keep talking about the
exactly.
Women actually like that.
Yeah, they're gonna pick that guy.
Like his look is almost rare. Like in the face, like not a lot of fat people look like that.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy, and he'd be even more handsome if he got in crazy shape too. Then he's gonna get even more women. But it's like me saying, look, I'm not a ripped supermodel, but girls still like me. Well, I'm 6'1". So where you gotta factor that in.
Is being jacked the most important trait for being attractive? I'd argue for guys, it'd probably be otherwise, right? I think height would be a very
money, height, fame, what can you bring to the table?
The number one thing is status. By far, status.
People also go after what they think they can get. So if this guy is 6'5" and extremely attractive, and it's like, well, I can't get that guy. I'm attracted to the 10 on 10 supermodel, but I'm not going to get her, so I'll be happy with the 9.9 on 10.
I'm sexually fluid, so my law of attraction does not adhere to anyone's standards, pretty much.
Okay, well then it technically doesn't matter what you're saying then, because
you can be attracted to anything. We're talking about like what do most people think.
Yeah.
Not what do you think? Well, that is the question, I guess. Technically, if we're gonna say everybody shares their opinions, that doesn't make any sense though, right? Because we're trying to get a consensus.
Yes.
Like, what are we drawing to conclusion based off?
I mean, all their answers have been pretty nuanced so far.
Yeah.
But we're talking about guys and girls. One, fluid. Okay.
All right.
Not everyone's fluid.
No, exactly.
Congratulations for you, brother. People have a hard time speaking in generalities. They have to always make everything about them. Well, I'm sexually fluid, so everyone to me is the same.
Well, I would never look at somebody
but that's not how most people
show disgust.
You could be jacked, you could be more plus size, you could be skinny, you could be whatever it is that you are.
Myron's face is it all the time.
What are the traits you find most attractive?
I think the way that you carry yourself is a really big thing for me. I can't date someone who lacks confidence because I feel like that seeps into other aspects of your life.
Do you mind if I jump in on the confidence thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So growing up, wasn't too confident in myself, and I gained that confidence when I started losing weight. And I noticed it was me putting myself in positions to get more opportunities with women. Right now, I'm single right now, but I'm doing okay. But the confidence came from me losing weight. So I do agree that it's a subjective kind of standpoint, but socially, I understand that.
Myron's face is killing me.
I don't
That's
think
what
it's as
trends towards.
subjective as guys are trying to say. Attraction isn't a choice, and there are hardwired traits that women look for in men.
What I've come to realize,
What women put out there is what they find attractive or politically correct things. Oh, he has a dad bod. He's nice. He's a good guy. The reality is that women don't respond well and favorably to these men. There's a reason why nice guys finish last is a thing. It's because when you're too nice and you kind of bend to her will, etc., girls aren't aroused by that. Girls don't want to say what they're really aroused by. Guys that are able to stand up to them. Guys that are able
Like
to...
I said, I'm fluid.
well, I'll just keep the comment.
Very pissed.
Leadership.
You can't say that.
Does any of those things happen to you though?
Well, I mean, I've talked to almost 3,000 women, and what I've come to realize from talking to all of them is that most of the time, you know, when they're in a comment section of TikTok, like, you're so handsome, blah, 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 will they actually go on a date and have sex with that guy? Probably not. But they say that because it's politically correct. And
Greg knows the facts.
they're going to say what sounds good, but what they're actually aroused by are two different things.
But they're married to those guys.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was
Most
getting to.
often they're married
I'm
to-
married
And
to-
marriage is a failed institution in the West, and this is why most men get divorced by women.
Myron's going crazy right now.
No one else could talk.
Yeah.
Let's go back to attraction for a second though, because I'm married. Sure. I have a child.
Cool.
I have a beautiful wife. I was this size the entire process through it.
Would you say that you're an average guy?
I would say that I'm
How
bigger
tall?
than average.
6'5",
you're not an average guy.
and a model
You're not an
for,
average guy.
for being slightly overweight.
I wasn't a model when I started.
But
dating
you are
my
a
wife.
very good-looking, tall,
I was a
big
bartender
guy
fucking
who's
doing
on
whatever.
magazine covers. So
But
out of the
I
million
think-
guys overweight, you're at
but
the
you're not
top.
an
You're 6'5", bro.
He wasn't any of those things.
He's not 5'6",
before
man, like
he
me.
met his
Try
wife.
being 5'6" and doing
No,
it.
I totally agree.
Let's make you 5'6" right now, bro. You're gonna feel a little different.
You mentioned status, and then a lot of people other mention confidence. So you even put in your own pecking order ahead of being jacked or being physically
status for sure.
attractive. Wouldn't you say that matters more? Confidence, how you carry yourself, how you do it?
I mean,
the prompt was simply, is it either you attract or
And
are you fat?
I'm not
What's
gonna
more
argue
attractive?
the fact that our society definitely finds jack guys more attractive. But I disagreed with the statement because it was a blanket statement that I have found untrue in my own life.
But he's neglecting all the other variables that make him attractive.
His perception is skewed already.
And he just said, well, I have a wife and I have a kid, so that must mean that I'm attractive even with my weight. Yes, and you're 6'5" and you have a handsome face,
And you're a model.
which most men
You have
will
hair.
never get.
Most guys have receding hairlines, balding.
You have a full beard. Some guys don't even get beards in the 30s,
They,
40s.
they can't get beard, they can't go over.
Fuck shit don't connect. Right.
Bro, you're 6'5". You're 6'5", dude.
That's like, I don't know what percentage of the U.S. population
And you're not
is
6'5" skinny. You're 6'5" with something. You have like I could protect you. Like I could beat the next guy down.
Like you gotta be realistic, especially when you're debating with these guys.
Do all of you feel like you'd be more or less attractive, let's say 50 pounds lighter than you are, and simply like just body fat?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I struggled with for a while is, in me losing weight, am I still going to be able to book the jobs that I book? Because I've built an entire brand off of my body. I did something that's all my own. Like, I worked on that. But then I was also just like, if I lose this, are you still gonna want me to like do this campaign for you?
It has nothing to do with. He said, if you lose 100 pounds, are you gonna look better?
He just exposed himself. Like that's been his thought process. So he's never even thought about going to the gym or even getting better because that's gonna mess up with his brand deals.
But also,
why would I go to the
doesn't
gym?
make any sense because there's a brand deal for everything.
Yes.
No, there is.
You could then transition to the clothes that for men that are not as big as you are.
So you're making an excuse so you don't have to
Just
do
as
anything
much as
about
there's brands for your weight, there's the same if you're not that weight.
it. Facts.
We ain't even talking about your goddamn brand.
We're not worried about
We're
that.
talking about
If you had 100 pounds less on you right now.
would you look better? There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse.
Are you still gonna want me in your magazine? Are you still gonna want to dress me? And then I had to like take a step back and say like, well, what is it for me? Do I want to be skinny? No. Do I want to look like Greg? No. Do I want to look like Myron? No. But I know I want to look like me.
He thought he cooked with that, like me.
When you look in that mirror, when you put your clothes on, are you like, damn, like I did that? Because when I got up this morning and I threw on my outfit, I was just like, yeah, I ate that.
Well, if you're going to talk about being attractive, etc., typically people are speaking from a romantic sense, from a heterosexual standpoint of men and women. So that's why I answered the question, because it was very broad. That's what I mean. But of course, you need to be able to look at the mirror and respect the man that you see looking back at you. When you look back and you see the guy and you're in shape, etc., and you feel good about yourself, look good, feel good. A byproduct of that is that women just tend to find you more attractive. It all works together in tandem.
Are you happy with the way you look?
Of course, women.
Of course, but I had to work to build this physique, and it took many years. I was an athlete in college, was a Division I athlete. It took many years to be able to do this. So,
what'd you play?
I rowed in college, crew.
Oh,
Rowing.
Yeah, I like rowing.
So I think when fat people look at the mirror and they say, "Oh, I like that," that's coat, man. No, you don't.
Coat, exactly.
But the reality is, most of the time when you're fat, you look in the mirror, you're like, "Damn, I really let myself go."
Not every.
You're
fat
like, you know what?
person-
It's not that much of a priority. So fuck it.
I was in the same boat as you, just because I feel like I don't agree with the blanket statement. Personally, for myself as a gay man,
Personally for myself, why'd you come on the show? They think they're going to curate personal questions that are going to fit for his life only for this episode?
You could say, you know, yes, this is what it is, but me as a gay man, like, don't start with that though. It's like,
Every time he spoke up, he's been in the generalization of the, him.
It's about his world.
It's about his world.
There could be a blanket statement that's men are violent, you could say. And I can agree with that, but I'm not violent. But that doesn't mean, well, me personally, I'm not like that. But I can still agree to a blanket statement that's widely true.
personally for myself as a gay man, I find myself attractive. I would say like I go for guys like you as well.
Did he just point at the Jack guy?
Yes, he did. Free tonight, but if you're interested in dinner
You
with
guys
me.
are more of my type.
I get a lot of hits on those types of guys, and I'm pretty content with how I navigate my attraction, and I think it goes a lot to the status and their confidence. So
You just said Jack is better.
Yes, he just said Jack was better.
And then he goes, he's like, you guys are my type. But no, it's all based off the status and confidence. You don't know what their status is right now. You just said you would bang both of these dudes.
Myron's the most confident one on the panel. You didn't say him, it's because it's the physical, you want the big musclies.
Body positivity movement is problematic. Will the agreeers step forward?
Body positivity is disempowering people. It's making them think that they're healthy at any size, which they're not. And so as soon as you start telling people, hey, just love your body, like Lizzo will literally rub her belly and said, you're giving me all this power as she's eating a burger and she's promoting being obese. By doing this, you're just ruining it for people who actually should think, wait a minute, I can lose weight, I can go to the gym, I can eat less, I can do this.
Personally, my problem with body positivity isn't necessarily what it stands for. And I feel like there's a misconception because there are those people that they use it to justify fatness and just, I don't even want to say fatness. I want to make it very clear, unhealthiness, because there's someone like me who I wouldn't say I'm necessarily part of the body positive community anymore. Personally, I would say I champion body diversity because it's all encompassing. It's inclusive of what everybody, is doing within their journey. When I expressed the desire to lose weight, another plus size individual that I used to be friends with was just like, well, I don't feel like I can share your content because I'm not sure how my followers are going to perceive this. I think it might be triggering for them and stuff like that. And my response to it was, well, if you're championing body positivity, then what I'm doing should not be a problem, because the entire time that I've been advocating for people that look like me or people who have been othered in any capacity in general is that all bodies are good bodies. What we do with our body is what matters.
He thought he ate on that statement too.
Yeah, he's trying to eat a lot of these statements up. Oh shit, my bad.
He's eating up a lot of statements.
Like he'll say something and then he'll look around like if he just did something.
All bodies are good bodies, but it's what you do in that body that matters. Did y'all get that?
Clip that for TikTok, please.
Somebody's gonna clip that, right?
Overweight people, specifically the woke body positivity movement, fluid, whatever, they're some of the most judgmental people. Like he just said there, his obese friend said that if you start losing weight, I can't with you anymore because it might trigger my audience.
I do think that Jubilee could have, or it might have been hard to get them or whatever, but like even a fatter person. Because if you think about the scale of like fit versus fat, fit fit, you got the G.I. Joe end of the scale fit. But fat, you didn't really get the end of the scale fat. So it's like when you're debating, you're almost debating more towards it. I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
The green guy is pretty big though.
All right, let's bring in our disagreeers.
So there's not a single problem.
Oh no, I'm not saying there's not a single problem. To me, body positivity is more about bodily autonomy. Like you were mentioning wanting to lose weight. My whole thing is like, yeah, it's your body, do whatever you want with it. I don't think I as a human being have a right to tell any of you what to do with your bodies. Body positivity kind of comes in and go, okay, you as a human being have inherent value. Just in the fact that you are a conscious soul on this planet, you have an inherent value. You are within a vessel of your body that you do have control over, but at the same time, you're not less valuable to society or from the standpoint of the soul for what your body looks like.
When I'm speaking about body positivity, I'm talking about the over acceptance and encouragement of being obese.
So I personally, again, I'm not super online, have not seen anybody pro-obesity ever.
Go to Target and look at all the things.
Posters.
Mannequins. The mannequins are obese now.
There's obese men in athletic gear. Why, when I was 10 years old, never saw plus-size man-woman mannequins? Why? It's just weird to me.
The body positivity movement wasn't a thing until recently, and then that's why everyone oh, it's fine, and then everyone gets bigger.
Fitness culture can be toxic. Agreeers, step forward.
Here we all are again.
Hey, let's hear from the jacked guys.
100%. I think you can perpetuate so many themes that are so unhealthy. Like there's so many images online of people that post in like the best lighting with a pump. That is the societal norm of like what's good, and it even like affects me because I'll see people and I'm like, oh, I look like garbage compared to that. I think that right now it's like there's a lot of
go right to them.
Oh, like garbage compared to this.
There's a lot of misinformation online when it comes to like how to get fit, how to stay in shape, and a lot of people are monetizing it. These like crazy fad diets, like you can't eat certain things, carbs are bad, fruit has sugar in it, so it's going to make you fat. So like now food is almost being weaponized, and then to be monetized so that you buy their ebook to tell you the exact secret, code in order to lose weight. So fitness is an industry, right? So people are incentivized to say whatever that is to make money.
Well, there's misinformation, but is that toxic? I don't know about it being toxic necessarily, in my opinion.
Unless there's one influencer that's really telling you that you can't eat carbs, it's going to cause this, or you can't eat fruits because it's going to add too much sugar, and then maybe somebody truly believes you can't trust these foods now.
What's his name? Sam Sulek taking steroids out the wazoo. He's doing that because he wants to. My interpretation of that, is that toxic? If I'm like, oh, I want to do steroids now. I mean, that's just my own choice. That's just humans living their own life. I don't know.
But I don't think that represents what fitness culture
Fitness
is.
culture. That's a subset.
Like, yeah.
That's a subset of a subset of fitness culture. Whereas getting fit, how could there ever be anything toxic about that? There's misinformation, there's different personalities, there's people pushing courses and a bunch of bullshit, but is that inherently
I think fitness
toxic?
is inherently supposed to be good and positive.
I guess I wouldn't personally view it as toxic.
When you are fat, out of shape, etc., the people, and if they don't get to know you and talk to you and have a conversation with you, they're going to assume certain things. That's just the world that we live in.
Just to dig a little deeper into that, has something happened to you to confirm that observation that you have?
No, I mean, I just live in objective reality, and objective reality isn't as nice as you think it is.
So you're not drawing from a personal experience at all?
No, I'm speaking fairly objectively that these are the conversations that people have behind closed doors, but they don't want to say out loud because for fear of cancellation, for fear of coming off as an asshole, etc. I'm just saying how people really feel, but they're scared to say it.
Coming from whether the fitness space can be toxic or not, the shame attitude has kept a lot of people out of it. I've been doing fad diets since I was 12 years old. I was put on Weight Watchers. I did Atkins. I did paleo. I did everything you could possibly imagine. And not until I started following other influencers that were more proactive based on, I want to be around for my daughter for as long as I possibly can be. I want to give my body the function it needs. Like just that basic mind shift. Hey, life can get a lot better if you do kind of focus on your health a little more instead of you're a fat piece of shit, you need to change. To me, I don't know everyone in the fitness industry, but I know for me personally, it totally changed my relationship with fitness when I started realizing that it was a gross benefit instead of a punishment I had to put onto myself for not being disciplined enough. For people like you to maybe respect me, who again, we don't know each other in reality. So why am I destroying my life so you will respect me one day?
Well, going to the gym and training isn't going to destroy your life.
And it does.
It's going to enhance it, if anything.
But I'm saying,
It's gonna
That's what I was saying.
Do that.
it wasn't until someone told me about those enhancements and kind of approached it with more of an empathetic way of being.
No one needs to tell you about the benefits of working out. Like, you know that, like, since you're a kid. PE.
Yes.
Like, you know, no one needs to tell you that.
I think in some ways, I feel like a lot of us can relate to this. Like when we were younger, if I wouldn't say it was shame, but I wasn't necessarily like happy with the way I look, and that kind of motivated me to get into fitness in the first place, right? And we're talking this was like in high school, so I think to some degree, shame that's not put on by others could be helpful, right? It has to be something within yourself that can motivate you.
I'll speak on the shame thing too, because the shame that I guess embodied came from myself. So when I was on my weight loss journey and I was like losing weight, the day that I weigh in and then like the scale read 1 pound over, like I would take those pills that make you shit, literally, to like lose that extra pound to see. Like, so going back to the toxic situation, that's where I got fucked up, because I would do things in response to me not getting that positive stimulus to hurt myself ultimately.
It's a very natural response to inadequacy, and it tells people that, hey, maybe I need to change. Like being bullied as a man, being shamed, it's a good thing because it stimulates you to change and make a better difference most of the time.
But some people don't respond. Like some people, when they get shamed, they get shut down, and now they proceed further into that negative, behavior, because it's not something, as Zach and everybody else was mentioning, that was positive to bridge that gap.
That's a part of the masculine journey, is overcoming adversity.
It's not a talk of masculinity, bro. It's just like
being a pussy and being like, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. And this is the thing, it makes or breaks you. Not everyone's going to win. We need winners and we need losers.
It is true that some people, when shamed, will use it as fuel and then become great. Some people get shamed and bullied and shut down, and that's the end of them. But that's it. That's true.
And it's almost maybe underlying things you got to work through to be able to make that decision on how to take that, because it's either way you can do it.
And it's like, well, I don't respond to shame.
Yeah, like some people don't respond to it.
Okay, I mean, that's
sorry.
what you want me to do.
There's people that shame us all the time in the comments.
I can't control that shit. Even if we said nothing, but just.
You could say YouTube is toxic then. We could say, is YouTube toxic? Well, yeah, because the commenters will say whatever they want. Anybody can say
and
whatever.
Some content creators don't know how to take it very well. Well, yeah, maybe.
And we stopped posting because we felt too much shame, and now I can't deal with it.
If you can put yourself in a position where you have a coach, a fitness coach, they don't shame you, they're never mean to you or anything, and they say everything just the way you want them to say it, and that's what you respond to, and you get in shape, that's great. However, the real world won't coddle you the way that you need to be spoken to. It's not reality. You're gonna have teachers, you're gonna have different people in your career that are not gonna speak to you the way that aligns with your personality and your specific way that you operate. So the shame thing, you're gonna get shamed regardless. And even doing what we do on YouTube and stuff, where you're getting shame comments every video, I think it's, if anything, it's only helped make us stronger people in general.
I'm a coach. There has to be tough love. Like, if you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing, I have to be a little bit harder on you. But that's not gonna start your journey, me being like, you're a fat piece of shit. Whereas like, if we get into it and we're 3 months in and you're not making progress because there's a lot of things you're not doing that we're coaching you on, then of course there's gonna be some tough love. There's gonna be some extra accountability. But I think there's a difference between accountability and tough love.
Well, what's the difference between tough love and shame? You could argue it's the same exact thing.
And how can the fat people even speak on fitness culture?
They can't.
Right?
Well, they're not in it.
I would not like to be on the other side. If that's true for you, come forward.
I wonder if any fat people. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Oh.
When I was in high school, they do your graduation photos, and they had a saying, and my saying was, my worst nightmare would be if I gained 10 pounds of fat. Literally, grade 12, I remember it clear as day. I was already a competitive bodybuilder, and so
You never did?
I mean, yeah, it's completely unacceptable to be fat as a man. It's completely unacceptable. It's just so many problems with it. I've been fat, I've been skinny, and I've been in shape, and I will pick being in shape every single time. Just like if you have someone that's rich versus someone that's poor, they will pick being rich every single time. And the thing is that most fat people, not all, but most, have never even seen their abs. They've never seen what their body is capable of. They've never been actually happy with their physique. And once you get that taste, you're never gonna wanna go back. And then on top of that, you're gonna wanna go in and tell all those fat asses that you were once friends with, you need to get in shape. This is awesome. But the reality
He just starts walking back to the group.
To strive.
Yo, not the, why did the editor do that?
Cut to him.
I mean, if I was president, Hell, I'd put all of them in a fat concentration camp so they can concentrate on dieting and exercising, because being fat is completely not acceptable.
I'd have these people back in shape.
Because what people don't also understand is that fat people bring a big burden on the healthcare system. Obesity, diabetes, heart disease, etc. It's a big problem.
Do you really mean that, or are you just saying that?
Of course he means clearly. That, he didn't question any of the fat people like that.
I hear what you're saying. I guess there's a distinction between having opinions about how COVID was handled and genuinely believing that all fat people should be in a concentration camp.
Yes, a concentration camp. Let me be clear. I'm talking about a concentration camp where they're concentrating on diet and exercise.
Sounds mean, it sounds crazy with those words, but he actually is trying to save these people.
I don't think that guy's ever been around Myron, so he thinks he's probably trolling. I don't think he actually even knows. He probably thinks he's being crazy, but he's like, no, he's just saying it in a different type of analogy.
It's like saying I want to get someone with an addiction to a rehab center. Like,
well, you don't really mean that, though.
No, yeah, I do mean that. I want to help him.
Well, the words you said there, I didn't like how they sounded, so you must be wrong.
I also would not want to be spewing out stuff just to hopefully get a viral clip.
He thought he said something with that,
bro. He really thinks bro, Tevin thinks he's been dropping.
I wouldn't be saying anything for a viral clip.
Clip me saying that.
And on the Jubilee comments, they're gonna praise him. And it's like, dude, you've been clip farming, bro.
He put his best fit on to get some clips today.
And Myron's not doing that for clips. He actually was saying while it's not realistic, a very interesting take on what it would take to get a bunch of
that would never happen, but he's just trying to make an extreme scenario.
Right? Mm-hmm. He would never be president. That's why he said, if I was president. Yes. That's obviously just an analogy.
I've gone through having eating disorders, from chewing gum and drinking water and starving myself in different ways to achieve something. Like when I was dancing, my dance teacher blatantly told me, if you don't lose a certain amount of weight, I'm kicking you out of the showcase. So what did I do? I resorted to everything that I could possibly do to cut pounds like crazy. And it wasn't sustainable. It really screwed with me mentally, but I was doing it, and of course,
you probably were doing it uneducated and didn't actually do it properly. You can lose weight in a very efficient.
And people will be very easy on themselves. They'll do 10 push-ups a day and be like, okay, I worked out for today.
He just probably got hungry and was like, this, and it was traumatic from him because he's so used to eating a lot. I'm not saying it's easy, like, oh, just do that, everything's fine, you'll feel great. No, it's gonna be painful.
So I feel like he would switch sides if it meant doing it naturally. Like he's obviously natural, he's natural.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously not.
I would switch sides if it meant that I could do it in a healthy way.
Yeah, you can.
And I mean, obviously, like I expressed, and I'm working on that.
He's not though.
Okay, so here's the thing, man. Like, excellence and comfort cannot coexist.
That's a bar.
You want to be the top guy, you got to be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable. As far as weight loss, because you said I'm just saying things to get a viral clip, how would you deal with the obesity problem?
Like I said, pouring life into people.
What the hell does that mean? I've never heard that in my life.
Well, pouring life is like, what would that actually look like?
As someone who creates content online, I share what it is that I do in the gym. I share my routine. I talk about hey, today was a shit day, but guess what? I pushed past that and I just benched 405. That's more than I would.
He probably doesn't know what Myron does.
So you're inspiring others?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what if I told you at the camp, everyone's exercising together and they're inspiring each other?
But
Same thing.
You approached it at such a negative way.
How's that negative?
You approached it from a place of shame. And most of us have blatantly told you that shame didn't really work. Shame is what led me to unsustainable weight loss.
Whose fault is that,
what
though?
we're looking for is stability.
Whose fault is that you decided to go an unsustainable route with dieting? Whose fault is that?
So if I was given a timeline that I needed to meet and I'm trying to figure out without also having the tools to do so the proper way, and I'm just grasping at straws on how I do it, yeah, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, so whose fault is it that they chose an unsustainable route to lose weight? That's your fault.
It's
See, the
an
problem is that you're a
amalgamation.
professional victim. I don't know if you've caught on to this, but you're a professional victim.
You constantly blame others for your inadequacies and why you're fat. The reason why you're
I
fat.
haven't blamed not one person for where I am.
Yeah, because you're always like, but it's tough and all this other stuff. The reality is this, man.
Wait,
you eat too much
I'm
and you don't
trying to
exercise
figure out
enough.
where these
And that's
misconceptions
why
about me are.
Again, you can say whatever you want to say.
I do want to press.
Like I said, I called you out on it, and I said,
I want to press.
He said you're doing this for a viral clip. No, he's not.
They can't take accountability for why they're fat.
really sad.
We got to pause.
It was getting good. The woman who was running your dance studio or whatever said, brother, you need to lose weight, else I'm kicking you out. Then he went online and probably did nothing and just said, but let me just starve myself.
But that was shame to him though? Bro, you gotta toughen up a little bit.
And it was his own choice to do it in a reckless, unsustainable, starving and eating grapes and water for 2 days. And there's YouTube and there's Google. You can type in how to sustainably lose weight.
No, but his thing is there's no, I don't have access to the tools.
Apparently he doesn't have a phone, internet, Google.
How are you able to get like a fit and different chains and know what websites those things are on? And
can't find a fit.
Upload it
to lose some weight.
You're a YouTuber content creator that uploads content but doesn't know
We
how
have
to
a job, so you have money, so you can go buy the necessary stuff.
Those type of statements are almost insulting to the people who actually have really incredible difficulties that they have to overcome to be fit. I've seen people with no arms and no legs and missing shit, and they're in incredible shape. And I'm like, holy shit. That's the thing. People are gonna make excuses for the shit that they want to make excuses about.
Bro, there's a dude I see, with no lower half body, and he's shredded.
Like, that's why Myron said you're a professional victim.
Because his excuse earlier was, well, I just don't know if I want to transition my career because I'm a fat person online.
Yeah, first it was that.
So what is it?
And then it was he doesn't have the tools all of a
They
sudden.
don't have the tools. But then it was also, well, some people just can't lose weight like that easily.
And then it was, well, you shamed me and that's not how I'm gonna lose weight. So you need to be nicer to me in telling me how to lose weight, or else I'm just gonna shut down and it's not gonna work.
And if your dance instructor that you know was mean to you and shamed you to the point where it got you to the worst point of your life, then brother.
Yeah, I absolutely chose to, if I could, I'd switch. So when I was my lightest weight, which was 273, I wasn't anywhere near you guys, but I had muscles. I felt really good about myself. And now that I've fallen back,
So he's 300 plus?
I don't understand, like, you were 273 feeling great. How did you get back? Like, I'm curious. Curious.
No, absolutely.
How does that happen?
So when I started my weight loss journey, I was very focused, like I can't take any outside help. Like I gotta do this on my own. I did all the research myself. So my problem was when I would hit plateaus, it hit hard because I'm like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Why not cutting weight? So eventually I hit enough plateaus to where like my mentality was just breaking down.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with the prompt just saying like, I probably wouldn't go extreme like on your side of the spectrum, so that kind of stuff. But I would like to look like Tyler. But everyone wants to look like
He wants to f*** him.
It's the ideal for me.
It's the ideal for me. Wanna f***, by the way?
I'm just gonna say it, the elephant in the room. Every fat person would want to be in shape. The problem is that they're not willing to do what's required to get in shape, hence why they are fat.
It's abundantly clear what you think. Like we've got
Kudos to you.
They gotta cut him off quick.
The host, man, it's like.
Now the host is a full-blown op because it's abundantly clear what you think. It's abundantly clear what the other motherfuckers think.
He has something against Myron.
He does.
Your physique is in your control. Can the agreeers please step forward?
So long story short, in 2018, I got to my heaviest weight, which was 441 pounds.
Whoa!
My weight had built like a cage around my mind. So even things that I knew were good for me, I couldn't even like go for it because my mentality was just so messed up. And it got to the point to where I had someone tell me like, dude, you're gonna die. And that hurt, you know? And
there you go.
Well, shame. That's actually the worst shame. Saying you're gonna die.
When I finally made that change in my head, I realized that where you're at, given like the ideal circumstances, it is your choice. I am where I'm at now because I made a series of wrong choices.
I mean, the reality is that, see, depression is a very healthy response to inadequacy. When you're a man, you got to go out there and produce. We're not women where we can just coast on our looks and make it through life. As a man, you must produce
I gotta cut you off, bro, because no one deserves to be like, people die from that shit, bro. Like no one deserves to be depressed.
Let me finish. The reason why you feel depressed, and it's a healthy response to you being fat, is because it's your body telling you like, wow, what are you doing? You need to fix this. You're sad because you're not going out there and accomplishing what you're supposed to do. It's your masculine duty to make money, to be successful, to lose weight, to be strong and fit, so that you can protect and provide for the people that you love. And when you're not able to do that, you get depressed and you get sad, rightfully so.
He wants to cut him off so bad.
Have you experienced depression?
Well, I've always been, I've had times where I've been sad and stuff, but I always get over it.
So you shouldn't speak on it then.
I think that's very insensitive people to
Yeah,
who actually
people
have
deserve
mental
to be
health disabilities.
Depression most of the time is not real. No.
That's fucking wild.
No.
That's fucking wild.
The earth is flat.
A lot of the times when people are depressed, it's because of their own inadequacies. You're messing up in
So if
something
you get
in your
raped,
life.
Is that an inadequacy?
He doesn't
'Cause people
mean in
get
all
judged for that.
cases. I'm
No,
sure
he's
he doesn't
saying
mean-
he's saying like in the majority.
Assuming I didn't know these people at all. It's a guy that's in really good shape who looks like I would wish I could look like. And then there's all the obese people talking about they're fighting for the depression, saying like, it's really the worst. Have you ever tried thinking about things the way he thinks about them? Because he looks the way he does. For a reason.
They're looking at him like he's trying to attack them, but in reality, Myron's actually trying to help.
Yes. Maybe you could go into your weight loss journey thinking, oh yeah, there's no such thing as these mental health elements. I'm gonna push through it. Some people go through just bouts of, where they feel depressed, but that doesn't mean that you're suffering from the thing of depression where, you're just cooked forever and then your brain's broken and that's it.
That's always a touchy topic to talk about too, because that's a whole spectrum in itself, like what even is depression?
What's the slightest way to say that I have it? Like what if I feel sad for 4 weeks, am I depressed now?
If I was sad today, was I depressed today?
I would say, because I'm clearly a doctor, there is most likely real depression where people's brains really are effed up and they're permanently broken. And if that's the case, deal with that however you gotta deal with it with a doctor or something. There's absolutely depressed people, but then there's people who aren't depressed, who are sad, who are going through a rough chapter in their life, and they label themselves as depressed, which then hurts their own situation.
People do like to self-label like that too.
Once you say the word depression, everyone gets all sensitive and tenses up, but let's use a different thing. Let's use something positive, like being confident. If you say, I'm confident, and start doing things that a confident person would do, you might just trick yourself into being a confident person, like fake it till you make it.
And that's why that's a saying, because that's true. That's what happens. It's like a phenomenon. You act that way, it becomes true.
Speaking generally, in this context of being fat and why you were depressed, it's because
That wasn't the only reason why I was depressed, but go on.
Okay, but it's a component. You know what I mean?
It was a big component.
It was
for
a
sure.
response to your inadequacy as a man. And the thing is that
Your inadequacy as a man, and he's because it's not nice to hear that.
But you see how you get emotional? If you're a real man that knows who you are, you just take that and just be like, okay.
You're like, you're right, I wasn't adequate.
And these guys aren't used to being talked to like that or address their issues like that straightforward to their face.
Imagine if you had that all times. If you had a Myron that was just texting you like, hey bro, you're gonna die way earlier than he getting to the 440 pounds point.
I feel like if Myron was my mentor, my life would be in order.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, Myron had to check on you every day, you would be getting
I probably wouldn't mind that in a way.
Because then let's say you do it for 2 years and he dips, probably just have these things ingrained in your head now to act and be disciplined in a much different way.
Like in my life when I was, for example, wrestling or in sports, like I appreciate it now or after the fact, like that my coaches were so mean in a way or aggressive or hardcore on you, or they would make fun of you or your teammates or this. It builds some sort of character, like it helps you like navigate life.
You guys were boxing and shit, and you guys had a Russian coach that was calling you guys bitches and like racial slurs and shit.
And it wasn't 100% just hate or shade. It was tough love. And then you do something good. Yes, that's it. And then you get this extra dopamine of like, you got it. No, today you're gonna act like a baby because you suck so bad. So do this. When you impressed them or did something better, it felt so good. But
you can't expect the world to treat you like your mom's supposed to treat you. Your mom is the one who's supposed to say, there, you're doing great, sweetie. People like Myron exist in the world who say, you're inadequate as a man and you're a bitch. When you live in La La Land, once you get hit with reality, it seems wrong.
Even the coach himself says like, if my client isn't making progress in 3 months, I have to tell them, I have to point out what they're doing wrong and what they need to be doing better on. There's gonna be some type of adversity no matter what in order to get to the next
any path.
You get to sculpt yourself. If you want to sculpt to the next best version, it might suck right now. It's gonna suck. But you have to just accept it and go through the suck.
We need winners and losers. Like I wouldn't act the way Myron's acting in this setting, but I'm glad that they're getting a dose of.
It's not saying that he's not saying the things that I'm thinking.
Like, all right, Myron's so mean and he's the worst and he's just a bully, whatever. Do what he says and see what happens. Do what the other guy says and see what happens.
I know everyone likes to run around and say, oh, everyone's equal and it's all equality for everyone. No, that's not how the world works. Why the fuck should I be treated equally to someone who's fat, broke, not disciplined, and not as intelligent? It's a competition. Life is a competition.
Where are you getting the notions that people are not disciplined? Where is that coming from?
The way that you look.
Guys, etc.
Look at their life 9 out of 10 times. They're not going to the gym. They're not making the money that they're supposed to be making. They're not where they need to be. Show me a guy that's making money, successful, has a good set of friends around him, has a network, etc., that is depressed. You would rarely find that. Are there exceptions to the rule? Of course. There's always exceptions to the rule. There's always exceptions to the rule.
Themselves because they were depressed.
There's always exceptions to the rule. But in general,
understand that it's not black and white.
He didn't say it was. He said there's exceptions.
And of course, the ones that are on the news are the exception because you don't hear about the millions that are rich.
He's already talking about the handful of cases that are on the news. He had to say on the news, but there's times on the news.
But go to LA where we live, where there are multi-millionaires everywhere around us. A lot of them probably are doing just fine right now.
But it's not on the news.
And then there's a lot of overweight, depressed people who are miserable. And it's like they would benefit from being fit.
I've started a fitness journey. I've been smaller, I've been bigger. I used to be a dancer.
Used to be, he got kicked.
I turned to food as, something to comfort me. And I realized that I was spiraling, right? Started working out again, kind of fell off of it. But this year I told myself it was my year of renaissance, right?
See you for renaissance.
Why do you want to work out? You're going to mess up your career.
I fucking worked 3 jobs. 2 of them that I love and 1 of them as a survival job to make sure that I'm able to continue doing what I love. So I go to the gym every single day after work.
What? Every day.
Again, going back to assumptions, you looked at me and you made assumptions about laziness, about not caring about my health and things like that, when that's the complete opposite. I reached out, I got myself a trainer because I was like, I can't do this alone.
I thought you just said you had none of these tools.
He got the tools now.
Got a gym membership, understands that too much control over food, it will keep you spiraling. And he got a trainer, so you looked up something.
And it's your renaissance year, so you want to work out and lose weight, but that goes
you said you
against
wouldn't
your
switch
career.
sides because it's going to mess up your brand deals?
He was on the side where he said he wouldn't want to switch to the other side. So why are you working out?
That doesn't make any sense.
With me, I want to work on building mass, losing weight, but most importantly, consistency. And I feel like,
Okay, that's great.
am I where I ideally want to be yet? No. But I also learned that I needed to love myself as I am right now and build those tools so that when I get to where I'm going, I can enjoy it that much more because it's a labor of love.
It doesn't have to be a labor of love.
What?
It doesn't have to be all that. It could just be just for health-wise, live longer. It don't have to be all that.
He juiced that up.
And dude, you can be mad and hate yourself and be like, I'm done with looking like this and f***ing go and be great. He just has to make everything very dramatic.
Your body don't care if you're fat or skinny. It does. It just sits there and just, what do you want to do to it?
Some people who are overweight, are they going to the gym? Are they putting the fork down? Are they doing the things they need to do? If they spent 14 hours a week doing cardio and eating healthy, they would lose the weight. I spend 14 hours a week learning Spanish, even though I am horrible at it, but I'm trying my best. And if everyone else tried their best, we wouldn't see anyone morbidly obese on this planet.
I don't disagree with you at all, but I think you said it's like you're spending 14 hours doing Spanish. For me, I still work out every week. I still prioritize my health, but there are other things in my life that do
Eat
take
half
a higher
the calories and you're going to be very skinny.
But that doesn't
Guaranteed.
matter to me. That's the whole thing.
I'm not saying you need to. I'm just saying no one should make excuses.
And that's why we all sat down. I totally agree. It's within because I've gotten really svelte in my past.
Just eat less.
Would you agree, looking at his physique, he's at a perfectly, I would say, maybe healthy?
No.
I think
he's definitely overweight, definitely obese.
I mean, if you count BMI.
I'm not trying to put you under, just being honest.
By a BMI
standpoint,
but there's a big difference between this weight and if you gain 200 pounds. But if you gain 200 pounds, I'd be like, why are you doing this to yourself? You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't be happy gaining 200 pounds. That's kind of what I'm saying. Is I kind of found like a homeostasis where I'm happy and I feel healthy and I feel active and I feel like I can do what I need to do. All my numbers are in the right place.
In the same boat as him, I feel like myself, I feel comfortable with them right now.
Well, that's the point. You're not supposed to feel comfortable.
I can keep going, that kind of stuff, but doctor says everything's fine with you. You are obese.
I will never
I can't.
There's nothing fine about that, sir.
The doctor said everything's fine. He just said I'm obese.
That's got to be a joke.
This is actually insane.
He said nothing's wrong. I'm just obese. No, that comes with a lot, sir.
I'm real comfortable after a BJ's Pizookie. Mm-hmm. That don't mean it's good.
Comfortable all night.
Yeah, the hedonistic pleasure seeking and comfort is not good. All the fitness guys put themselves through freaking the ringer,
and they still do
actively.
It's not like you stop doing it. That's the whole fitness journey. You have to constantly put stress on your body at all day, consistently. Everything checked out, just obese.
Green checks all around.
Except for the obesity, it's all in red.
Just obese, whatever that means. Anyways,
you can Google what happens to you if you're obese. Just Google it.
You tell me there's not one small problem that's a little annoying week to week with being at that size? There's not one thing in your day-to-day life where you're like if only I wasn't this.
You know what it is? Because he's operated like that for so long, that's normal to him. Being out of breath, not being able to do anything physical.
Doctor says everything's fine with you. You are obese. But I will never forget the doctor told me you're healthy obese.
What sort of doctor said that?
No high blood pressure, didn't have diabetes, didn't have anything else. So I was like, okay, well, I just want to lose weight because obviously as I get older, it's not going to be like that. But I mean, perfectly, I know I have the control to get where I'm at right now or where I want to be, but I'm pretty happy.
Healthy obese. No. You can be a drug addict and your blood levels don't show any sort of high levels of anything else. Are you a healthy drug addict at that point?
You could be a heroin addict until 60 years old. You could be 70 years old with holes all around your body and still be living. Are you really healthy? Like, are you really good though?
When is ever being obese healthy?
It's not.
I was very curious, out of show of hands, who here feels like after spending time in this space, you feel like you're closer to understanding the other side than when we stepped in the room?
Greg and Myron.
I understand it less. Literally, like
What's up? We run the risk of it blowing open again, but this was a super interesting discussion. One of the more interesting episodes I've been a part of. So thank you all.
Now Myron ran that whole episode.
Myron did not want to find any middle ground. This video is basically 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 48 seconds of convincing me to not like Myron.
Damn.
Women who find Myron extremely unattractive as soon as he opened his mouth. Where you at? Myron getting called small as had me dead. Myron bring back shaming. Myron, after being called small, immediately taken aback and accuses the guy of shaming him.
You can take pieces or whatever even out of what he says, but to go straight for you're a bad person and...
Well, that's the thing. They don't like his delivery. Just because someone delivers it in a package you don't like doesn't mean the substance of it, what's in the package is wrong.
That's exactly it right there.
You can drink sweet tea, but it's not gonna save you. It tastes great going down, but has no substance. Myron shit's hard to swallow, pause, but there's actual substance to it.
And it's like, I can't sit here and say I know more than Myron. Like, he talks to like thousands of people all the time and has a show and does studies and takes notes and this and that. I don't do any of that.
Myron is the reason why women and gay men choose the bear. That's the video we talked about.
Yeah.
Just because the presentation of how you say something as opposed to what you say.
Now he's just a horrible person.
If Myron was gay and flamboyant and said it in like a sweet, bubbly way.
Oh, he'd be the best person ever. He'd be a hero.
I respect like Myron coming on this platform and like spewing his, side in his brain or whatever.
But also remember how many comments are there in this video?
20,000
comments, but there was 1 million people that viewed it.
Damn,
So
bro.
There's still 1 million other people that have their own consensus and we won't know.
Like, I'd rather be fit. No disrespect to anyone who's fat. I'm just like, I'd rather be fit.
I think everybody should just incorporate some type of fitness in their life where you can fit it in.
That was a bar because you said fitness and then fit it in.
You're like,
oh shit.
Yeah, people know what the right thing to do is when it comes to their body. So do whatever you want, but yeah, we would suggest eating healthy.
Gym, water.